So, I just tried to film this video, and then I got, like, too much coffee on my mustache because it's clearly just growing out of control. I don't need to fucking trim it, but I don't, give a fuck. And just trying to get the coffee off my beard by doing one of these things, and I kind of inhaled some coffee, and then I kind of exhaled some coffee in a coughing type cough. That's coffee. Okay, that's how you swallow. Moving on. So I have two things I need to reveal that I just kind of figured out, that dawned on me, if you will. One, I was planning on making a video about since, like, I woke up this morning, because it occurred to me last night, and I had thought of some other crap I wanted to put in the video, but I couldn't remember that. But while I was trying to think of that, I thought of something else. So one has to do with the voice of the accuser and how the election hacking relates exactly to the specific claims of Republicans and Donald Trump. And the other is Mitt Romney. Okay? Now, I gotta move the water jug because I can't see my percolus. Okay. There. I'm still having serious water condition problems, and I'm really not too sure what the hell's going on with my systems here. I might actually have to break down and go buy a test kit. Although it's like, the reason why I don't like test kits is because what happens when you buy a test kit? You do a water change. I just do fucking water changes anyways. I do all the water changes I can afford to do. So what am I going to do if I spend more money on a test kit? That's just less water changes I can do. Moving on. Sorry. All right, so you got the hacking thing, which it's a gem. Wait for it. But Mitt Romney. Okay. Now, according to the Constitution, the Secretary of State is, see, it goes from president to vice president to the head of the House of Representatives to the president pro tempore of the Senate, president, vice president, House, Senate, okay, down to the Secretary of State. Okay, so from the president, okay, let's put him right here, from the president to vice president, okay, one. God damn, my fingernails are dirty. 1, 2. Oh, I don't get manicures. I'm sorry. I change, parts on cars. My wife is actually changing a starter right now. Because she's fucking awesome. Perhaps you've heard of her. Look outside. There she is. Anyways, so Obama. I mean, oh God, no, I didn't. Oh, now I got to start the whole video over, don't I? No. Okay, hold up. It's not Obama. It's fucking. Now I'm getting fucking black grease on my. Okay, Trump. No, wait. I need an orange marker.
Orange marker?
Oh, look, a kid just happens to be passing through. Child, whatever your name is, I know where you live. I can find out. Well, that'll work. Give me that one. Give me the yellow one. Give me the yellow one. All right, now put Donald Trump's hair on top of the thumb. No, with the marker. Start holding up the.
That's the best I could do.
All right, it didn't show up very well. Okay, so there's Donald Trump. Okay. President. And then we have Mike Pence. We got a nice reflection on there, just as pasty as can be. And then we'd have the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. That works. Okay. I really should start this over. And then President pro tempore of the Senate, who is currently Orrin Hatch. Yes, Orrin Hatch. All right, and probably wouldn't change. And then you'd have Secretary of State Mitt Romney. Okay, so basically, here's how this would go. Paul Ryan and Orrin Hatch impeach based on Article 4, Section 2 of the Constitution, I believe. Might be scratch that, reverse it, but again, based on the Constitution, according to, like allegiance and taking gifts from foreign governments, that kind of thing, right? Would impeach Donald Trump and Mike Pence because, according to Article 4, Section 2, if it's not Article 2, Section 4, but 42. Wouldn't be surprising if it is Article 4, Section 2. All things considered. It's the 42nd season of Saturday Night Live, isn't it? It's all kind of fucking weirding me out. I mean, shit. Think about this. It's weirding you out. You're not the one who has to be, like, I'm just a fucking person. And I still got to deal with this. You don't even think about that, do you? Emily's husband, when Emily came to visit, her husband, total skeptic on me, but still just realized that this shit's actually happening to me in the exact way I describe it to you. And he said, that's got to be fucking blowing your mind. And I'm like, yeah. All right, so Donald Trump, face-to-face, Paul Ryan. That's entertaining me every time. Layla, go have a snack or something. Wandering around with a bendy straw. Oh, she's playing with the cat. Okay. And then Paul Ryan and Orrin Hatch. Who would, like, they don't consider themselves unhappy where they are. They'd probably, be recused from taking said position in that case because they would oversee the impeachment proceedings. Okay, so by default, it would be as though ultimately Mitt Romney would be president. Okay, so even by choosing Mitt Romney as Secretary of State, not only does he put his presidency in danger on day one, but this path forward presented to the Republican electors, and it will be, if he chooses Mitt Romney, it'll occur to them. I mean, it'll just occur to them. They will en masse write in Mitt Romney instead of Donald Trump. And this thing will go to the House, in which case it will either be Paul Ryan or one of the two candidates. Okay. In which case it would be more than likely either Mike Pence or Mitt Romney would wind up being president. Um, More than likely, Mike Pence on the write-in thing as it stands now. But the fact is that impeachment still is likely, and based on the exact articles of impeachment according to the Constitution, this isn't just he lied under oath or anything like this. This is a different ball game. This requires the impeachment of the entire executive branch, including the vice president. So he's out of the loop. Then we need an executive branch. So, I mean, it really does get fucking complicated. But the fact of the matter is, Donald Trump won't pick Mitt Romney because of this. Because this gives his Republican opposition a clear path to just writing him out of the picture. I mean, between all the conflicts of interest and the doubts about his credibility, the doubts about the credibility of this election in general, really, if the Congress hopes to keep the American people as a whole, or the international and the international community as a whole, in any way legitimately faithful in this election process, if they hope to, how do you say it? If they think that any of us in the entire fucking world are going to believe that elections in this country aren't completely full of shit, they need to elect Hillary Clinton. Okay? Because everything that, if you just, want to take just a moment of objectivity, just a moment to actually realize the fucking truth, no matter how much you dislike it, okay, what you see is that neither Republicans nor Democrats actually agree with this electoral college. Okay? But, according to the Federalist Papers, the electoral college was designed to prevent somebody exactly like Donald Trump from taking office. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump's support was garnered dishonestly, and all the negative views of Hillary Clinton were populated dishonestly. This anger that they talk about, that was also provoked dishonestly. Okay? Politicians haven't really screwed the fucking middle class. Robots, corporations and robots have screwed the middle class. Alright? Because corporations have fought pensions so that they could keep their fucking mansions. It's that simple. I mean, mansions, plural. Don't get me wrong, you had a fucking corporation, you deserve to have a nice mansion and, a beach house. Okay? But if you want more than one fucking vacation home, you need to be doing timeshares. Okay? Stop being fucking greedy. That's just my opinion. Decide where the fuck you want to live and live well. But don't clog up the landscape with your fucking greed. There's better ways people could be using their money. Like helping other people. God forbid. So, there was the other thing, not Mitt Romney, but the vote hacking stuff. And I'm going to remember what the hell it was in just a second. Because this is the thing that I hadn't been planning on to make a fucking video of all morning, and only said it for a fucking brief second. What I was going to say earlier is that I just turned on the camera real quick before choking on my coffee, so I could remember. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, it's fucking. Oh, this is. Oh. Okay, so you have two pieces of evidence, one circumstantial, and I submit this as circumstantial evidence due to the known pattern of deception of the KGB. The voice of the accuser is what I call it, but it is the pattern that John Gleese describes as you accuse them of exactly what you are guilty of. You accuse them of exactly what you were guilty of. So, if you take that into effect along with the other circumstantial possibilities, evidences that Donald Trump is in fact either a willing or unwilling patsy of the KGB, he specifically accused people of voting twice and dead people voting. Okay. And I had figured out a portion of this, which was to say, well, that's easy. They'll hack the fucking databases. I mean, they'll get the information. I didn't want to say specifically because I don't like to give people ideas that they haven't thought of yet, but this is after the fact. So, yeah, what I meant to say was they'll get the information. They hack the fucking databases, and we know that they hack the databases to get the information. Okay, we know that. That's physical evidence. That's not circumstantial evidence. We know that the Russians hacked, I think it was 28 different state voter registration databases. Okay. It might not have been the states themselves. It might have been the local precincts, but I believe the fucking number was 28 different ones. Okay, so now dead people, obviously, if you fake your identity as them and they're still registered to vote, you're going to show up and you're not going to have any fucking problem. All right, an audit needs to happen for those people to be compared to, say, the people who aren't alive anymore. Like, for instance, what's going to happen in North Carolina. But also in North Carolina, there was another thing that might be very interesting. And Joey wanted to know about this, but I wouldn't even tell him. But I have basically been sending a certain type of spiritual energy to the North Carolina area. I think I've mentioned, that there was something that just wasn't pleasing me about what was going on over there. And, well, you saw the consequences of that in real time. And, subsequent to that, I sort of, what you might say, hardened his heart. Okay. And he's kind of gone a little bit batshit, believing, drinking his own Kool-Aid, as it were, drinking his own Kool-Aid. So, the reason why this has happened is because I want the recount in North Carolina. Because I know Hillary won North Carolina. You gotta understand. I know things cyclically. Well, no, I know things cyclically too, but I know things psychically because I know them psychically. Cyclically. Wax on. Wax on. And what I do is I find ways to confirm not only different types of intuition over the course of my life, to refine my intuition and, to discover whether or not I should put any stock in a given feeling, notion, flash, vision, premonition, whatever you want to call them. It happens to me in different ways. But man, I've said on previous videos, I spent from the year about 2007 to 2009, or come to think of it, about 2008 to 2009, and there might be particular reasons for it, but I don't want to go into that. But basically, I would have dreams about daily life in the future. I mean, mundane dreams about just doing daily fucking things, like everyday life. And I would also know the thoughts that I would be having in that future and like the stuff that I would know in that future in the dreams. And I've seen these different fucking things happen over and over and over again. So I'm stuck thinking there's some weird fucking reason why just like the future was just unfolded to me on a constant basis. After the last time I lived in my car, basically, was when I guess I got a lot of sleep then, having a bed and whatnot. Wonderful. Beds. Don't take beds for granted. Beds are wonderful. I still don't sleep very often, but I know the value of a bed like most people don't. I would imagine don't, because you get to sleep on one all the time. You don't get to sleep on one for a long time. Anyway, so 20 minutes, huh? Sorry. The hacking thing. This applies to North Carolina, as well as Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, possibly even Texas, maybe some other states. I mean, this is a widespread thing. Might have even cost McClellan, Utah. What's his name, right? Scott McClellan, I think. McMullen. Ed McMahon? I don't fucking know. You are incorrect, sir. Okay, so the hacking thing is proven as far as the registration databases go. So how would that be used to rig an election? Okay. We have the other evidence of supposedly dead people still on the registration rolls. Well, I mean, they're on the registration rolls. Whether or not that was being used, okay, is something that hasn't been proven. I think it's pretty obvious that there aren't Democrats who could get away with that kind of shit in rural areas, okay? But there are Republicans, okay? I mean, Republicans have stolen fucking elections in the past. We know this, all right? You have extremely conservative corporations that own two of the fucking companies that make the voting machines, okay? Like, literally, iHeartRadio shills these people that I've been fucking, tracking on here. There's two networks of them. There's this iHeartRadio network of shills like Patricia Steer and those fucking people. That's iHeartRadio. They make fucking voting machines. Then you have the RT people, right? Then you have Fox News. Okay, Diebold is actually owned by the fucking, one of the the main investment bank that owns fucking Fox News or some bullshit. Okay, so you have iHeartRadio makes one voting machine and Fox News makes the other voting machine. You gonna tell me this shit ain't fucking rigged for Republicans? Alright, so here's how this goes. When you add onto that, okay, this isn't about that. I'm not talking about that, okay, but add on to that. When the fact of the matter is there's a list of reasons. Like I said, it's not a matter of if this election was rigged for Donald Trump. It's a matter of how many different ways it was rigged for Donald Trump. So that's one of the ways. But that's not the way I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about right now is the hacking that we know that happened, the Russian hacking of the voter registration databases. How could that translate into actual voter fraud? How could that en masse rig an election? Well, back to the voice of the accuser. It wasn't just dead people. People are voting twice, right? People are voting twice. And while on the surface that does seem like it's something that could just be targeted by, if you get the same fucking name, they only let you vote once in that place. So people, who all have the same name, which is usually a lot of minorities, are being disenfranchised by that. But if you look a little bit deeper and you take into the effect the Russian hacking of the voter registration databases, you go by social, like when you register. So you're not necessarily going to get disenfranchised if you got a different, you got your registration with you and shit. A lot of people have their registration. I mean, voter ID is becoming less and less of an issue. So if they get the registration information of, say, a Democrat, not a dead person, a Democrat, okay, because there were people that went in and were told that they had already voted. You're trying to vote twice. No, I'm not. And people came up with the explanation of the name overlap thing. Okay. What if somebody came in there with that hacked voter registration information provided by Russia? Oh yeah. What if, say, some hardline white supremacists, for instance, wouldn't be hard to find those all around these fucking areas, were given, 3 different fucking cards each, went in there and voted as Democrats. How do you even detect that if you're doing a recount? How do you pick that up? This election isn't legitimate. You can't have Russian hacking the information that people are given before an election, the information about the election, the information about voter registration, possibly hacking the voting machines themselves on election day. You can't have all of that and expect anybody with an IQ above fucking tuna can to fucking believe in this election. It's ridiculous. So, people who voted twice. That's what the governor is. People voting twice. Dead people voting and people trying to vote twice. People who voted twice. Yep. People pretending to be Democrats who voted for Donald Trump. And then the Democrats came in there and they couldn't vote because they had already voted, for Donald Trump. Because it's not like everybody was rallying towards the center and saying we need to gather together as Americans and stop this. I mean, it's actually more reasonable, and I'll say it again. Okay, orangutan, college student, me. Hillary Clinton more than likely got around 57 to 59% of the popular vote, and electorally, she had a landslide. She probably almost won Texas. Okay, and as close as she got in Texas, kind of says it all about the whole rest of this bullshit. That's all for now. It's a little thing. Peace.